Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the NBA. So y'all check this out. I'm just gonna do this on you. Bam! Right? It's old news, but you remember we were talking a little Carmelo Anthony, right? Last year when Carmelo Anthony got traded over to Oklahoma City Thunder, you know I didn't like it because it was considered the big three, and I was telling you right then I don't like it. I think Billy Donovan's gonna have to talk to this man, see if this man gonna come off the bench so we can stagger these guys. You don't need all three of them in the lineup at the same time. You don't want Canelo to only be a spot up, short corner three kind of guy going to the corner, similar to what Cleveland did to Kevin Love, right? Put him in the corner, and then you minimize what he can do. But at the end of the day, is this guy capable of coming from the bench? That's why I wouldn't have had him there. And I said back then, I didn't like that trade. I would only like to see Canelo go to the San Antonio Spurs, only because Popovich is there. And that conversation of you going to come and you come off my bench or not will be at the front door. If he's not capable, he wouldn't be in their uniform. Right? That's how I coach. That's the same. If you can't do that, you won't be in my uniform. And I knew that was going to be a problem then. That has cost Oklahoma City a year because they didn't say, well, listen, don't come if you can't do that. So I can coach. He would have been if Canelo would have came from the bench, Oklahoma City, things would have went better, right? Would have went better. They would have been able to stagger this man. It would have been okay, right? Did not happen. I call it the Alex Iverson syndrome. My reason being, Allen Iverson didn't want to do the same thing in Memphis. I think Memphis would have went deep in the playoffs if he would have just came off the bench, coming back behind Mike Conley, because coaches want to help the young guy, empower the young guy, right? And they need sometimes a player to help. Now, players like Carmelo Anthony, who've been in the league this long, at some point you have seen everything. So you've been the man all the time, but you have seen all different defensive schemes, how teams are playing, tactic, this and that. So at this point, I'm expecting a guy that's been around basketball this long to understand what he's supposed to be able to do and what a team could possibly need and why. The only reason you would block that is if you're totally into yourself. And that's just best better way of saying selfish. That can happen when you're only hearing things good about yourself your whole career, probably life, right? So it's pretty hard for these guys. But I just expect them to be able to see it before other people. Matter of fact, I think Canelo should be thinking bench right now, right? But if he's not, and that was last year. Now you're seeing what I'm talking about. After he's been traded, they basically got rid of him to Atlanta. Atlanta don't want him there, right? So now we're hearing he's going to Houston. What's going to be the case then? Whatever, right? He's going there for the minimum. Doesn't matter. The man don't need no money. But at least he probably was seized through this because it wasn't too many people wanting to get Canelo, right? And I'm telling you why. It's only because, man, if you ain't coming from the bench, you might not start anywhere. And it's pretty simple. It's really simple to see, right? Why? He should be able to say, okay, I'm a defensive liability. I got some quick hands on the block, right? But I can't really get up. I don't have any that much lift in the offense, right? Either. So let me go ahead and just make sure that we can pick my spots and handle my business and help the team win, right? And not be the alpha dog, the main guy. He's not a main guy anymore. He should have seen that last year. Would have helped Oklahoma City. Let's see what he does going forward. This was basically just to make sure everybody sees, things in life, period. Character is something important, right? Not saying the man's character somewhere else isn't, but when it comes to basketball, this is the easiest way to look at this. If your head's not too big, if your feet are planted still, which is pretty hard to have, but if it is, a player that's playing 15 years should see what he's capable of. Should see what the team is trying to do. Should understand it. It's a lot of basketball. It's not your third or fourth year or sixth or seventh year, eighth year, right? This is a long time. So these are the kind of players that become coaches one day and things like that. You should be able to see that. Doesn't happen. Right? So I don't know what it's going to look like going to Houston. I don't like to talk too much about it on the off season because things happen. We can talk going forward. This was just basically, hopefully, Canelo can get it together in terms of if Houston needs him from the bench, that's what we should probably do. They probably could let him start in that lineup, right? But the bottom line is get itself together to understand there's a possibility you should be coming from the bench and you should be happy to do so because no one is saying you will not be able to help a team. Right? Still are able to help a team, especially if you get on that fitness in the off season. That's going to be no doubt. But to carry your team, no. Those days are over. Period. Understand that, and then things might look bright going forward. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get rid of this Alex Iverson syndrome. Dover Sports Talk, worldwide. No out of here, y'all. And boom.